Hi, here is a very simple Copilot Studio agent that answers questions based on a SharePoint list of shipping data. There are no instructions and just one tool. I can indeed track one or more shipments by ID, but I can also ask about destinations. If I am too vague, it will use general knowledge. But it can indeed retrieve all the data up to the limit I set in the top count field, and the orchestrator will summarize it based on my question. The Odata queries are created on the fly by the orchestrator during the filling of the input field of the tool and based on the context. I can therefore ask for the number of pending shipments, and also ask for a table showing them per the destination listed earlier in the conversation. Here is the SharePoint list. It contains 5 columns of interest that I have mentioned to my SharePoint Get Rows connector. Here is the agent overview page. It's mostly empty except for the one tool. Here is the tool configuration. I changed the name from Get Rows to Get Shipment Details. I also hinted in the description that this was a SharePoint list connector so that it better interprets the inputs and outputs of this tool. The magic happens in the filter query input. Here I name and describe the 5 columns that are important, and I give a few examples of Odata queries. I also add an example of a query to retrieve all the values when all else fails. And to make it robust, I set a fixed top count input with a maximum of 50 rows to retrieve at once. How did I write this awesome input prompt? With Copilot, of course. I gave it a screenshot of the first few rows of the SharePoint list and asked it to assume that I am using a SharePoint connector in Copilot Studio, and I want to instruct the agent how to write the Odata filter for the SharePoint connector to this list. Voila!